I wouldn't want to do this as like a job for a job's sake. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
If we ever got to be non-profit status, a government non-profit organization, that'd be great. We would love to take donations, money or food or clothing and stuff like that, but only to further help the people that we work with in the community, not to line our own pockets.
Right.
Yeah, so like that's really where the issue lies, is that there has to be the logistics in place to both have transparency so people know that their donations are going to what we say they're going to, but at the same time have us remain anonymous to everybody except law enforcement, because that's our modus operandi. So it's an interesting dynamic to try and work around when it comes to like charity work and large-scale nonprofit stuff like that.
Yeah, and as much as we want to remain anonymous and stuff like that, if for whatever reason I ever got outed and my civilian identity was leaked, I would probably still come out here in full attire and mask and helmet and everything like that, because even if my identity was leaked, who I am underneath does not matter. I could be your neighbor, I could be your cousin, I could be your best friend, and you'd never know. And you don't really need to know for a certain reason, because it's not the individual, it's the idea of what we're doing, and the fact that it should be anyone out there helping out. It should be just any average person contributing to the society to the best of their abilities. Because the planet and humanity, if you've ever watched any of the old videos on Dolphin Productions, I said that the human race is sort of like the human body. If we all work together and we're all cooperative, that body can be healthy and continue going on for years. But if certain sects of that humanity or body start fighting each other, you're going to have health problems, you're going to have civil wars, you're going to have revolutions break out against the government, you're going to have just different opposing sides, and it's going to basically collapse. So it's basically like the body dying at an early age. So I mean, we can either all work together and survive as a species a little longer, or we can nitpick and tear each other apart and, be done by 2050. So, if I ever get outed, sorry, I'm not going to be taking off the mask. I'm still going to be Turtle Man, because who I am underneath doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of anonymity there, it might seem like a joke to some people, the whole superhero thing, keeping our identity secret. But, there is the real risk that we're going to piss somebody off, either by reporting them to the police or injecting ourselves into a situation
where they don't feel we have any business interjecting ourselves.
Yeah, so, I mean, and those people, if they're pissed off enough, could, if they knew our names, be less than altruistic in vengeful, basically.
Right.
But even aside from that, by not having our own names attached to it, it helps promote the image that, we're not out here for glory, we're not out here for religious reasons, we're not out here for making money, which the whole doing this for a job thing comes in.
Right.
We're out here because we genuinely want to do our part to help people and, keep people safe.
And I mean, we like to let people know that we actually do care, and we try to interact with people that we've met on the streets before, let them know that we remember who they are, that they've left a mark, like the potentially homeless gentleman that we came across down on King Street, who unfortunately didn't want to be filmed. If you caught that, I was trying to, ask him how he was. I was trying to ask him if he's still in that dire situation, needed any further help. I generally care for, you know, our citizens who are going through bad times, and I just want to try and connect with them on a more personal level so that I can get a feel for what to do for them in the future.
Right. So I guess for any YouTubers who might be watching this video, I guess they can feel free to post any sort of questions in the comment section, and I can try to bring the questions out here, and I guess you guys can talk about, you know, such and such.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to do.
Oh yeah, so if anyone's watching, feel free to ask any questions that might pop in your head about our organization and the team. You know, as long as they're not personal questions, because unfortunately we can't really answer those, but anything regarding the Katalysts or the Justice Crew.
Even RLSH in general, and the whole, you know, the whole reasoning behind the movement itself.
I think you can also check out the HBO Superheroes documentary on Netflix still. It may or may not still be on there. It's a good idea and a kind of good introduction to what we do. Mostly focuses on the teams in the States though. There's also a channel on YouTube called Zeta Man TV. It's an older real-life superheroes channel who filmed a few episodes of what he did and kind of different activities and stuff like that that he was involved in. It's pretty good. I don't think he's really active anymore though, except for maybe online. But there's definitely some good teams out there. The Midnight Society or the Doomsday Club or something like that. No, what it was called was the Black Monday Society.
Right.
The Black Monday Society and Doomwatch.
Yeah, I first learned about the Black Monday Society maybe a decade ago when I was in high school, and I'd messaged some of their members on MySpace. I was really curious about the movement, and I just thought it was like the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah, there's also Master Legends team. I can't quite remember what his team's name is, but I know it's him.
Isn't it the Extreme Justice League?
No, the Extreme Justice League is with Mr. Extreme and San Diego's Grim.
Right.
Is there a guy named Heavy Hitter?
I believe there might be.
I see him all over the place on YouTube commenting under videos.
Oh, then yeah, it might be him. I know Urban Avenger used to be part of the team, but he's on his own now, doing his own thing. Kind of in the middle of nowhere now. We'll probably take a left down Park and continue down that way.
Yeah.
Not much action here on Bond Street. Criminals don't get any ideas. We're still watching.
I've been receiving some comments from the Doomwatch Patrol on YouTube.
Okay.
Basically, I asked them how are things going in the United States, where they patrol. They said something along the lines of they patrol around homeless shelters, and there seems to be a lot of violence going on around the shelters.
That's unfortunate.
They didn't specifically say what was going on, but they said there's a lot of fences, and for some reason there's violence. So my latest comment was me just asking if they could go into detail about it, and yeah, it'll be nice just to hear what exactly is going on in their neck of the woods.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak for their situation, but I seem to notice that homeless shelters seem to attract people of all walks of life. that have been, you know, either kicked out of their house or have become homeless for various reasons. And a good portion of it is because people are not very good at keeping their emotions in check. So they get very angry and violent very easily.
Right.
Well,
so they get kicked out.
Well, to go along with that, desperate times call for desperate measures, and when you're impoverished and kind of down on your luck, your stress level is extra high, and any belongings you do have, you try to hold on to, you know, dear life. So when it's kind of every man for himself, and the kind of homeless community, you're going to get a lot of violence and stuff like that.
Yeah, what I was trying to get at there is that they're not in the best place in life, so they're not, you know, they're not running at their, you know, calmest emotions. Would be my way of putting it.
They're not
Right.
their usual selves, yeah. How's it going?
Going all right.
Yeah, like, I myself, when I was younger, when I was faced briefly with the proposition of myself being homeless, I too was rather angry and yelling all the time.
The ornery crusader.
Yeah. Luckily for me, that was only a very brief amount of time and subsided quickly. But for others, that eventually escalate into actually becoming homeless. And I can only imagine how much more that compounds on their stress when they're
Right.
actually in the situation that they were worried about. It's a hot and steamy one out today. Guess we'll take a left here.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you've caught anybody shouting profanity on camera yet, but it's bound to happen eventually. And to anybody watching that's left in the cut, I apologize beforehand. People are going to be people.
Right.
My favorite is when people yell out that it's not Halloween.
Right.
And to answer a question that a lot of people probably want to ask, yes, it does get very hot wearing all of this in the middle of summer. Aside from the Pokemon Go players, actually hasn't been too crazy tonight so far. Last patrol was pretty nuts. That was the one we were handing out all the care packages, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Tomorrow's the holiday, so I figured people would be treating tonight like a Friday night.
Yeah, it definitely feels good to you know, hand out those packages and just see people's reactions. You know, their faces just light up, and it's a really rewarding experience.
Yeah, I actually got to do something for someone yesterday. Or actually, no, sorry, it was today. When I was over at the mall there, I was with my significant other, and we noticed this black purse, like bag, on the ground, and we figured, you know, it might be someone's wallet or purse, so we should probably, you know, check it and see if someone's ID is in there so we can return it to them. And we opened it up, and it turns out that it's actually someone's prescription medication.
Garbage.
So we basically called the pharmacy. They advised that we return the medication to the pharmacy so they can give it to the proper owners. So yeah, I managed to find the person on Facebook because it's a very unique name, and alerted them that I had found their medication and was returning it to the pharmacy. And the response that I had was like, they were not expecting their property to be found and returned. Like, their initial reaction was that someone's going to find it and abuse it because it's prescription meds.
Right, right.
Which to me is kind of saddening that that's the default expectation of people.
Right.
So it was really nice to brighten, you know, this person's day, as well as save them probably $100 in prescription meds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to.
Yeah. No, I'm done picking up that garbage there that someone could have easily thrown at that bus stop, but decided to chuck it on the lawn instead. Just 5 seconds, people. That's all it takes, a little extra to throw away stuff in the garbage. Especially if it's non-biodegradable. I mean, sure, if it's like a piece of like paper or something like that, it's gonna like biodegrade, but stuff like this, like, that's not gonna biodegrade. It's gonna float around the streets and create kind of unsightly, unnecessary mess.
I'm taking out the trash.
And yeah, that's kind of one of my pet peeves, is litter.
Right.
Like, litter is so unnecessary with how many like garbage outlets we have, like in parks or obviously in like bus stops and stuff like that. You don't need to just like take your fast food meal, crumple up and throw it in the ground and keep walking. Like, I've seen that so many times. Like, when I'm done controlling, I gotta walk all the way back where I reside, and sometimes I'll see like people will just throw their like Dr. Pepper bottle or their Mountain Dew bottle just on the ground on the sidewalk and keep walking.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I'm not in my outfit, I'm like, all right, no, that's not okay with me. I pick it up, and even if I have to walk all the way home with it and throw it in my own recycling, I'll do that. Might sound strange, but I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me.
Right.
So many opportunities to throw something in a garbage. It's nothing short of pure laziness for people to toss it on the ground willy-nilly. Especially if it's on someone's property. Like, how big of a dick do you have to be?
Yeah, like this.
One thing, Nameless Crusader is definitely not Weightless Crusader. My pants are definitely more tighter than they used to be.
And not just because he's excited for justice. I apologize. I'm not a professional comedian. My jokes are sometimes only a little bit above dad jokes.
Okay, there. I'll save you with my own pun. I tell jokes to make people laugh. Sorry, I tell puns to make people laugh. but no pun intended. Remembering back to our Brahma patrol there where Darkhood was, is it? No, it's the other guy. He's kicking the box around.
Oh, yeah. Farsight. Farsight was aggressively kicking some trash around on the sidewalk while we were patrolling. I'm not exactly sure why he was doing it that way. I assume he was trying to move it out of the way of the sidewalk, but the manner in which he was doing was a little eccentric and aggressive. So we later found out that he was having some personal issues in his civilian life, and he wasn't really in the best frame of mind that night. Probably shouldn't have been out patrolling, but
that actually raises a good point for any potential RLSH or even long-time RLSH. You need to be in a relatively good mindset while you're out. If you're...
Don't patrol drunk or high.
Well, there's that too. That's a given. But also, if you're feeling particularly angry at something or particularly depressed, you're probably not going to be your normal self. So, if you go out with your safety patrols, unless you have somebody out to keep you in check, like a partner, it's probably going to do more harm than good. A lot of people don't realize just how much having a different state of mind affects their responses to any given situation, especially anger. Like a situation you would normally try and enforce passiveness on, you might slip up and allow yourself to be a little more aggressive than you really should, which can lead to complications.
Yeah, our whole goal of de-escalation might not be properly focused that night in said RLSH's mind. If you're depressed or angry or have some sort of major kind of personal issue that day or week or whatever, it's always best to go out fresh in a positive attitude, without any influences substance-wise or emotional-wise. Any situations dealt with anything other than logic and level-headedness is probably not going to have a great outcome.
Yeah, there's been a couple nights, where one of us has basically had something pretty impactful happen during the day and come to the consensus that a patrol is not, not a smart thing to do for that particular day.
Right.
Yeah, basically a week or 2 weeks ago I had a personal issue at home where I was just physically unable to do a patrol, so I had to put it off until we were able to again.
When it comes to people close to you, friends and family, are you comfortable talking to them about your real-life superhero lives, or it's something you keep on the down low, or?
It depends on who it is.
Right.
We're pretty good judges of character, so we usually know who to let in on our little clean secret.
Right.
Me, I try and remain as anonymous to as many people as possible. The sole exception is my significant other, because if I'm going out at all hours of the night dressed up like a weirdo, it's going to be suspicious,
Right.
to say the least. So it's a good idea to share with them what I'm doing and why. Thankfully, I had a pretty good response when I let my SO in on what it is that I do.
Yeah, well, and they don't really get to spend too much time together, right? So if he's making excuses every weekend while he can't see them, they're going to be a little displeased with said information, so we kind of had to let them in on the deal.
Yeah, like I waited until I was sure that it was going to be a serious thing, and brought
That's
them
not
in.
really something you bust out on the first date.
Right.
Oh yeah, did I tell you? I'm a real life superhero. Where are you going? Call me. So yeah, aside from that, like nobody in my family knows.
There's a few people that know what I do. My significant other knows. One of my parents know. All of the above are cool with it and support it for the most part. Obviously, my significant other is concerned about my well-being and coming home at night.
Right,
Because,
right.
you know, her and the kids and everything like that. But I think they realize that my being out here is a little bit more important than just. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, 'cause I understand the necessity and the importance of being there and living and being alive for my kids and my significant other, but at the same time, she's like, "Oh, you could get shot, you could get stabbed." I'm like, "You're right. You're absolutely right. I could get shot. I could get stabbed. But you know what?
I could also get hit by a car walking across the street.
I could also go to the Max to get some milk for us and get mugged and stabbed anyways while I'm in my civilian gear, or get hit by someone behind the wheel who's just got off a really late shift and is tired and just kind of drifts out of their lane and hops the curb, and there's that's the end." And I always like to live by this motto: I would rather die for something than of something.
Right.
So if I'm going to go out, I'm not going to do the whole cheesy, I'd rather go out swinging or, live on your feet than die on your knees.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of along the same lines. Like, I would rather know that if I go, people are going to know that I was in the line of duty per se. I mean, I'm not a police officer or a soldier or anything as that grandeur, but it's similar. I died with best interests at heart. I died knowing, or with other people knowing, that I was behind a cause that's bigger than myself, And I don't mind that. If I die trying to save someone else from a mugging or abuse or anything like that, it'll be worth it.
Up against stuff here. We expect that one day our luck's going to run out, and at the very least we're going to have the shit kicked out of us and wind up in the hospital. And that's at the very least.
Oh no, not pain. I better not ever inject myself with the possibility of getting hurt for the protection of other people.
Yeah, like, I might not be the most physically adept person in the world, but
Yeah, I'm not Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm just an average citizen. Got turtle gut going on. It's okay. My willpower is stronger than my body, that's for sure.
yeah, like, when it comes down to it, what's an ass kicking? You get to sit at home and stay off work for a few weeks. It's a vacation, man. Go to the park, see if there's a car.
Yeah. I don't mind earning a few scars for justice. If I can stop a mugging or a rapist in progress, then I don't mind risking a little bit of my personal safety to make sure that the person gets out of there safe and alive.
Our old poster's still up.
What is that, 2 years old now?